हायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलां नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयं भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते। चरणारविन्दम् भूमौ स्खलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनं त्वय्यजात अपराधानां त्वमैव शरणं प्रभो। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित्तं नृसिंहम् अहं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we are going through the prayers of Kunti Devi. Kunti Devi is praying to the Lord when he was about to leave for Dwaraka. Kunti Devi, as we heard, is the paternal aunt of Sri Krishna, and then she is completely overcome with the reverential mood towards him, and therefore she is offering prayers in a very reverential manner, and not in a relation of son and mother, but in the relation of God and an ordinary living entity. So she is offering her prayers in a very reverential mood. So the last we heard was Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama. I offer my obeisances to you, O Krishna, Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, Devaki's son, Devaki Nandan, Brajendra Nanda Gopa Kumara, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Govinda, I repeatedly offer my obeisances to you. Now, we will read from first canto, 8th chapter, verse number 22. Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe. तुम्हार नाभि देशे पद्म, गल देशे पद्मेर माला, नयन जुगल पद्मेर न्याय प्रसन्न, पाद पद्म पादद्वय पद्मांकितो, अतएव तोमाके पुनः पुनः प्रणाम करी. I am offering my obeisances to your lotus-like navel. My obeisances to you whose neck is decorated with the lotus flowers. I offer my obeisances to you whose eyes resemble like that of a lotus, and I offer my obeisances to both of your lotus feet. Repeatedly offer my obeisances to you. In this manner she is telling. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Jadiu ami tahader moddhe gananiya nahi, तथापि तुमी आमार नेत्रेर सुख प्रदो ताहाई बोलतेছেন नमः पंकज इत्यादि. The purport of the previous verse we heard Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. She is offering prayers. Krishnaya, among all your incarnations, Krishna incarnation supreme. Vasudeva is very, very fortunate because he got you as a child. And Devaki Nandanaya, Devaki is even more blessed because you stayed in her womb and also you had accepted her as your mother. Therefore, she is even more fortunate than Vasudeva. And fortunate than Devaki is Nanda Maharaj, because he got to see he exchanged with you the parental affection in a more intimate manner. Therefore, my obeisances to him. And then Yashoda, who is even more blessed than Nanda Maharaj. In this manner she has told in the previous verse. Now, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur continues, even though I am not counted among any one of them, means the kind of love that Devaki or Vasudev, Nanda Maharaj or Yashoda Devi, like the kind of love they have got, I am not so blessed to attain that kind of affection and love from you, nor could I exchange that kind of love with you. Tatapi tumi amar netrer sukha prado. But in spite of that, I am able to see you. I have got the good fortune to take your darshan. You are giving bliss to me by your presence, by making me see you. Even though I am not among those very fortunate persons who exchanged their love with you in an intimate manner, even though I am not among them, but yet you gave me also some happiness by giving your darshan. That's why she is telling Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, etc. Means I have seen your beautiful lotus navel. I have seen your beautiful eyes. You gave me an opportunity to see your beautiful neck that is decorated with the lotus flowers. And I also got a beautiful opportunity to see your lotus feet. In this manner, you have given me that fortune. Tomar nabhi mala netrodito patito amar drishti sushital hoiteche ei bhav. By seeing all of your beautiful, lotus-like eyes or feet, etc., my heart is very much pacified and cooled. Jatha Hrishikesh Khalera Devaki Kansena Ruddhati Chiram Shubharpita Vimochita Hancha महात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्। हे इंद्रियाधिपते, जे रूप तोमार माता देवकी के क्रूर कंस बहुकाल যাবৎ কারারুদ্ধ করায় তিনি শোকে অভিভূত হইলে তুমি তাহাকে কারামুক্ত করিয়াছিলে, তদ্রূপ হে সর্বব্যাপী বিষ্ণু, পুত্র পাণ্ডবগণের সহিত আমার তুমি রক্ষক বা পালক রূপে বিপদ রাশি হইতে বারবার মুক্ত করিয়াছ। So in this prayer, Kunti Devi is telling that, Hey Indriyadhipate, O master of all the senses, Rishikesh, you are the master of all the senses. Why? Because in the previous verse she told that I am able to see all these things. How is it possible? Because you are Indriyadhipati, you are the master of the senses. Only if you give that eligibility for my eyes to see you, only then it will be possible. It is because you are the master of the senses. So that's why, hey Rishikesh, it's not that I am able to see you. It is your greatness that you have given me the eyes to be able to see you. So this is the meaning of Rishikesha. My dear Lord, जेरूप तोमार माता देवकी क्रुद्ध कंस बहुकाल जावत, like your mother, she was imprisoned by the most cruel Kansa. Your mother Devaki was imprisoned by him. He is very, very cruel. And therefore she was in deep lamentation because of her suffering in the prison house. You have delivered her from that suffering and delivered her from that imprisonment. In a similar manner, my dear Krishna, my dear Sarvavyapi and all-pervading Vishnu, you also have protected me and rescued me along with my children Pandavas, not once, several times. You saved your mother who was in deep trouble and who was imprisoned only once. But you saved us, you protected us repeatedly. So she is telling that this only shows your magnanimity and love and affection towards us. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, আর আমি অতি দীন হইলেও তোমা কর্তৃক মাতার মতো পালিত হইয়াছি ইহা বলিতেছেন যথা ইত্যাদি শ্লোকে. Like in the previous verse, the one we read 2 days ago, there Kunti Devi is telling that Devaki is very fortunate, Vasudeva is very fortunate, Devaki is very fortunate, Nanda Maharaj is very fortunate. I am not counted among them. I have not got the good fortune for getting such a intimate loving exchange with you. But yet, I got saved and protected by you, just like a mother is saved by the child. Like a mother takes care of, a child takes care of the mother, in a similar manner you have taken care of me. Like Devaki, she was in trouble and you have delivered her from that trouble, just like a child is supposed to deliver the mothers and alleviate the sufferings of the parents. You have done so for Devaki. And even though I have not given anything to you, Devaki, she has kept you in her womb, she had loved you as a child, etc. And therefore you did that. But I did not have any exchange like that with you. But yet, just like a child, you even protected me also. Not only me, my children also. Hey Rishikesha, Rishika Indriya Samoher Jini Isho Niyamaka Amar Antakaran Tumi Jano Ei Bhav. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Rishikesha is used here. Hey Rishikesh. Rishikesh means the controller or the master of the sense organs. We are the controller of the master sense organs, means you are also the master of the mind. Mind is also an organ, sense organ. It's Of course, it's not a tangible organ, but it's a subtle organ. All the various desires that we are getting is to the mind only. They are being executed through the ears, eyes, nose, etc. The eyes are not desiring. The mind is directing the eyes to see some beautiful thing. Similarly, the mind is directing the ears to supply a beautiful music. The ears are actually not enjoyers. The enjoyer is the mind. And therefore, that mind, which is the director, is, directing all the sense organs. In a similar manner, you are Rishikesh, means you are the controller of all the sense organs, means including the mind. Therefore, you know what is inside me, what my feelings are, what my troubles are, all these things you know. That is why the word Rishikesh signifies, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, the significance of Rishikesh is that what is inside me, you know everything. I don't have to express. যেমন তোমার মাতা দেবকী খলকংস কর্তৃক দীর্ঘকাল কারারুদ্ধ হইলে শোকাভিভূতা তাহাকে তুমি মুক্ত করিয়াছ, সেইরূপ আমিও তোমা কর্তৃক মুক্ত হইয়াছি. Just like your mother. Your mother has been imprisoned by Kansa, the cruel Kansa, for a long time. And therefore, she was in extreme trouble for a long time. Because of her long time imprisonment, she was in trouble. And you have rescued her and also freed her from her lamentation or from her sorrow by delivering her from the prison. In a similar manner, my dear Lord, I also got released from various troubles by you only. Kintu ami ekaki nahi. পুত্রগণের সহিতই ইহাতে আমার প্রতি তোমার বিশেষ দয়া. But in the case of Devaki, you have rescued only her. In the case of me, you have not rescued just me alone, but you rescued my children also. Panchapandavas, all the Pandavas, you only rescued, not just me. In the case of Devaki, you only rescued her. But in my case, you rescued not only me, but my children also. Which means I understand that you have a very, very special mercy upon me. See, these are the prayers that Devaki is offering in a very, very reverential mood. So this only indicates that you have so much mercy upon me. তাহার কারণ আমার কর্মবশত আমি শোকে অর্পিতা হইয়াছিলাম, ওখানে কিন্তু খলকংস তাহাকে রুদ্ধ করিয়াছিল। এই জন্য সেই দেবকী হইতেও আমি অধিক দুঃখিনী, এই অর্থ। See, in the case of Devaki, what happened is that she was imprisoned only by Kansa. For a long time she was imprisoned. Therefore, she was in trouble or in sorrow. But in my case, I am being repeatedly troubled by my karma, by my past fruitive activities. Why? They are coming repeatedly. Devaki is imprisoned only once for a long time. It's like one person is getting trouble. The trouble is there for 2 years, 3 years, and then it is gone. For the 2-3 years, the trouble is very, very pathetic, very difficult to tolerate. But another person is getting troubles repeatedly. Is getting maybe for only 2 months, 3 months, but again it is repeating. Again it is repeating. Again it is repeating. Repeatedly, the troubles are coming to us. Therefore, Devaki got suffering only once. But I am getting suffering repeatedly because of my own karma. আরও তুমি আমার নাথ অর্থাৎ রক্ষক রূপে আমাকে বিপদ সমূহ হইতে বারবার রক্ষা করিয়াছ। And also that every time we were in trouble, each time we entered into trouble, every time you protected us also. In the case of Devaki, you only rescued her once. But in our case, you have repeatedly rescued us. We were repeatedly in trouble, and each time you were there to rescue us. Means here Kunti Devi is telling how Krishna is so merciful upon her, that even though she has not given any kind of motherly love or affection or care towards Krishna, like Devaki or Yashoda, Vasudeva, etc., they did. I did not do any of those things. But it is only extreme, compassion or mercy upon me from your end that you have repeatedly rescued me from all these dangers. It is not only me alone, but you also rescued my children also. কিন্তু তাহার দেবকীর রক্ষক তাহার স্বামী বাসুদেব বিদ্যমান, বাসুদেব বিদ্যমান, এই জন্য অন্নপুত্রের উৎপত্তির সম্ভাবনা থাকায় এবং তুমি পুত্র চূড়ামণি হইয়াছ, অতএব অন্য অপালিত নিকৃষ্ট 6টি গর্ভের কি প্রয়োজন, এই ভাব। And further, Kunti Devi is telling that, you see, in the case of Devaki, her husband Vasudeva is still alive. He is still present. Therefore, there is still a chance that she can beget children. Whereas I have no husband. If my children are dead, I cannot beget any more children. I have no scope. Devaki, in the case of Devaki, Vasudeva, her protector is there and he can also protect her. But in my case, I have no protector also. And I have nobody from whom I can beget children also, because my husband is no more. Therefore, your affection and love, compassion towards me is very, very superior. And further she is also telling that on top of it, to Devaki and Vasudev, they have attained a son like you. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes as Putra Chudamani, the crushed jewel of all sons, means after getting whom no son is required. They are the best among all the sons. So such son they have got. Therefore, if one may say that, you see, Krishna has protected Devaki and Vasudeva from the prison house, but he did not protect the previous 6 children that Devaki has lost. Kansa has repeatedly killed 6 children, and then after that Yogamaya, there was transformation of the womb. Therefore, 7th was shown as if there was a the loss of the fetus or baby. It was shown like that. And in the 8th, Krishna took birth. Means 6 children previously, they were all killed by Kansa. So if one may say that why did Krishna not protect the 6 children? In the case of Kunti Devi as well as the 5 children are protected. In the case of Devaki, only Devaki is protected from the imprisonment. He rescued her from that imprisonment, but not the 6 children. Kunti Devi is telling that there is nothing, there is no loss in it to Devaki, because she got a child like you. What is the use of those 6 other children who are gone when she has got a child like you? Means she is telling that I have been repeatedly getting suffering. For getting a child like you, when she got a child like you, there is no repeated danger to her. She is free. But in my case, I am repeatedly getting dangers and I have no scope to get any other children also. আরও আমি বহু বারবার যে বিপদ সমূহের গণ রাশি তাহা হইতে মুক্ত হইয়াছি, কিন্তু সেই দেবকী একবারেই कंश निमित्त जे विपदेर गंधई ताहा होइतेई मुक्त हइयाछे. And then Kunti Devi is further telling that I got rescued from the dangers repeatedly, not once or twice, repeatedly, because the Pandavas, they were subject to so much of pain. Any such activity towards the children, the mother feels more pain. It's not that Kunti was also several times insulted in the assembly. That is there, that insult was there to her. But she was more troubled when she saw her children were given repeated troubles. Therefore, she is telling that we have been subject to suffering several times, and each time you have rescued us from those sufferings. Whereas in the case of Devaki, it was only once. Once, that is when she was imprisoned by the Kansa. But that suffering, she is telling that, is just a cent, is an iota in front of what kind of suffering we are getting repeatedly. So, in a nutshell, she is telling that you have shown more compassion to us. Even though I have not done any kind of service to you, just like Devaki did, she had kept you in her womb, she had done so much service to you, she has done, and in exchange, you have rescued her once only. But I have not done any service to you, but yet you have rescued us repeatedly from so many dangers. Not only me, my children also you rescued. সেখানেও আমার গর্ভে পরমেশ্বর জন্মগ্রহণ করিবেন ইহা বারবার মনে উদিত হওয়ার সুখাভিমানবতী তাহার বিপদের গন্ধ কোথায়. On the other hand, Kunti Devi is telling, means Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining the mood, that when Devaki heard that my son will be Supreme Lord himself, at that time all her sufferings were automatically finished. Because Supreme Lord is coming as the son means he is not incapable of doing anything. He can do anything. Therefore, the bliss that she has attained by knowing that Supreme Lord is coming as a child, in front of that, whatever suffering she underwent in the prison house, it is very insignificant. Nobody can call it as suffering, in fact. Whatever Devaki underwent is not a suffering, because the bliss that she has attained by getting you as child is many, many fold superior, that suffering cannot be counted as any suffering at all. Arthat tahar par tahar kono vipade chilo na. Means after that, after your appearance, even though she was still in the prison for some more time, because Krishna was in Gokul enjoying various pastimes, and then finally he came to Kamsa and killed him, and then it is after that he has freed Devaki and Vasudev. I think he was around 14-15 years, something like that at that time. So after Krishna's birth also they had to wait for 14 or 15 years to be freed. But Kunti Devi is telling that it was not at all a suffering for her, because she knew that Krishna, her son, is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, is Supreme Lord. Therefore, he can rescue her. Therefore, Kunti Devi is telling, actually here Kunti Devi is comparing her intensity of suffering with Devaki. Devaki's intensity of suffering is very, very little, minimal, compared to my intensity of suffering. Devaki has served you, I have not served you. But in spite of that, you have showered more mercy upon me, even though I have not offered any service to you. This only shows your extreme love on me. Here she is not complaining that, Devaki has no problem, I have more problems. Like in this material world, we compare. We say, why Krishna is giving so many troubles to me? Why only I have to do so many problems, undergo so many problems? We have this issue, this problem. that that person should also suffer more. But Kunti Devi is not complaining here. She is telling that how Krishna is more merciful towards her than towards Devaki, that repeatedly Krishna has rescued her even though she has not actively offered any service to Krishna as Devaki and Vasudeva did. Kintu Avi Sarvato Bhave Ati Dina. You know very well that Devaki, for Devaki, she is assured that her son is supreme. And she had no sufferings after that. But in my case, you know that I am very, very wretched and fallen. I have no one to rescue me. Therefore, to be Deenabandhu boliya amar prati tumar daya. Because you are Deenabandhu. Deenabandhu means you are the friend of the fallen. You are the rescuer of the fallen or the most wretched persons. I am that one. And you have, because of your quality of being friend of those wretched or fallen souls, you have rescued me. This is your extreme compassion upon me. किंतु अभी देवकीर मत तुम्हाते प्रेमवती अथवा भाग्यवती नाय ए भाव. But my misfortune is that I have not become as much fortunate as Devaki, or I have not given that kind of love that Devaki has given to you. Premavati means the kind of love that I have towards you is nothing in front of the love that Devaki has towards you. Still, you have done all this to me. Because thinking out of your own quality of Deenabandhu, of your being friend of the fallen and wretched, even though I have not done anything, you only saw that she is the most fallen soul. She is the most wretched woman. Therefore, I shall rescue her. With this mood, you have rescued me. Otherwise, I have no qualification of my own to be rescued by you. But you have repeatedly rescued us. विशान महग्नो पुरुषाद दर्शनाद असत सभाया वनवास कृच्छ्रतः मृधे मृधे अनेकम अनेक महास्त्रतो द्रौण्यस्त्र तश्चास्म हरे अभिरक्षिता. हे श्रीहरि, तुम्ही आमादिक्ये विषमिश्रित मोदक जनित मृत्यु होइते जातु गृहदाह एवं हिडिंबादि राक्षस गणेर नेत्रपत होइते द्युतस्थान एवं वनवास रूप कष्ट होइते ओ प्रत्येक युद्धई भीष्म द्रोण कर्ण प्रभृति बहु महारथीर प्राणघाती अस्त्र समूह एवं संप्रति अश्वत्थामार এই ব্রহ্মাস্ত্র হইতে সর্বতোভাবে রক্ষা করিয়াছ. So, in the previous verse, we heard Kunti Devi is telling that Devaki got only one time suffering. And you rescued her. But we are repeatedly put into troubles. And every trouble, in each and every trouble, you have rescued us. She is telling all of those, not all of those, a few of those here, that, my dear Lord, during what times and when you have protected us. Each time you protected us. The one is that when Bhima was once given the poison, he was given poison and he was thrown into the waters. No one knew where Bhima is. At that time, my dear Lord, it is you who have protected him. Because none of us knew. It was Bhima, Duryodhana. He took him out of play. Let's go and play there. Bhima is very fond of eating. Therefore, he prepared a nice, laddus and cakes, etc. So many food items in which he had put poison. Bhima, because he is fond of eating, he sees only nice food. He does not see that he is my friend or enemy. Oh, nice food. He ate and then he fainted. Then he was thrown into the waters. But it is Supreme Lord, my dear Lord, you have rescued him from that trouble. Then Jatagrihadaha, the Lakshagriha, the house, it's made of kind of this thing, shellac it's called, the metal, the object which can be set to fire. So it was made of that material, and then the Pandavas, they were offered. You go, we have prepared a nice resting place for you. The Pandavas, out of their brotherhood, Duryodhana has arranged nice, staying place. Therefore, they went there. They stayed there, and Duryodhana was actually conspiring to set that house to fire and kill all the Pandavas. It is later by Krishna's, intelligence, this news was sent to them, and then they escaped from that death again. The Pandavas were repeatedly put into various kinds of troubles. So even at this time, the Lord has rescued. Further, she tells that Hidimbadhi Rakshasaganer Netrapata Hoite, when they entered into the forest, at that time the Hidimbasura, a great demon, he was ready to kill all the Pandavas. The Rakshasa is Danava, he could just eat the humans, but it is you, my dear Lord, who have rescued my children from this Hidimbasura also, the Rakshasa, the demon named Hidimba. And Dyutasthana, and in the place of Gamble, the Gamble arena, where Draupadi was to be stripped naked. Dushasana, Duryodhana, they wanted to strip naked Draupadi and insult all the Pandavas. But my dear Lord, it is you again who have come and rescued. Why, Draupadi is the wife of the Pandavas. So if the wife is humiliated in the assembly, that means the Pandavas are also humiliated. Therefore, it is you again, my dear Lord, who have protected us from that humiliation. And Vanavasarupa Kashta Hoite. And we were in the forest exile. In the forest exile, so many troubles have come. Not 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Duryodhana had sent so many. One time, Durvasa Muni went there to just insult and then give, curse. It is Duryodhana's plan that go to them, they will not be able to feed properly because they don't have money now, and Durvasa will give them curse. It is the Supreme Lord who protected. From the dangers in the forest, several dangers, and during the Agyatavasa, 1 year of exile, wherein nobody should be able to detect them, even there also Krishna has protected them. In this manner, during the Vanavasa, during the forest exile also, 13 years of forest exile and 1 year of complete, hidden. They should not be found out by anyone. If in that 1 year anyone finds them, identifies them to be Pandavas, then they'll have to repeat 14 years. This was the, cruel nature of Duryodhana and Shakuni. The 13 years forest exile is over, and 1 year Agyata. Agyata means they should not be identified by anyone. They should be completely gone into hibernation, you can say. And if they are detected by anyone, then again 13 years of forest exile plus 1 year of that. And that means they would want to repeat it so that the Pandavas will never get into the kingdom again. This was the conspiracy. But it is you, my dear Lord, who have protected us even at that times. And finally, when Kurukshetra war became inevitable, at that time, Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, Karna, etc., great warriors were standing in front of the Pandavas, whose arrows nobody can bear, nobody can stop. But my dear Lord, it is you who have protected us even that Kurukshetra war. And recently, from the wrath of Ashwathama also protected. Ashwathama wanted to kill the son of Uttara, and you have rescued. In this manner, whenever we were subject to repeated troubles, and Brahmastra also is sent, Arjuna went, and then Krishna told that you also send Brahmastra. It is by the advice of Krishna, Arjuna sent Brahmastra, and then the effect got nullified. And then he sent Brahmastra on Uttara's womb, and then it is Supreme Lord who has rescued her from that. So, my dear Lord, in this manner you have repeatedly rescued us. Whenever there was a trouble, you rescued us. Whereas for Devaki, it was only once. She was imprisoned, and then only. So here she is counting all that. In the purport also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, only the events wherein Krishna has protected the Pandavas and also Kunti Devi. We will continue from here tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatattvatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki jai. Jai Paramaraditam Patita Pavana Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad Pranamsa Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Shla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatt Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shadu Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. जय सर्वविघ्न विनाशनकारी भक्त वत्सल भगवान श्री नृसिंह देव की जय. भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री कुंती देवी की जय. कुंती स्तव की जय. श्री श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.